What's good, Pauper people? Bryant Cook, and today we're playing Pauper Reanimator. I actually uploaded this archetype about 2 weeks ago, and you can find that video in the card above. I played a white splash, and in fact, I think I even still have it in my Magic Online account, and I do. Okay, so this is the deck list that I played. It's a pretty good video, and at the end, I talked about not wanting to play white anymore, so I was talking about playing Rise again, and I received a suggestion from Alex Ullman almost immediately saying, hey, Bryant, there's actually a better card than Rise Again that you can play, and it is Summon Undead from Commander Legends, Baldur's Gate. It's 5 mana, so 4 and a black for a sorcery. You may mill 3 cards, and then return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. And by the way, it's from your graveyard, not any graveyard. So that is Summon Undead. So you don't actually need a creature in the graveyard to cast this because you might mill one. So I've been testing out this list, and I really talked about wanting additional discard effects. So Insolent Neonate was a card I was really interested in. With going down to 2 colors, we're able to play Maestro's Theater as a fetch land that gains life. So we're a little bit better against the red decks. We gain some mana consistency as well. And so now we have 12 looting effects, and we've actually gone up to 12 fatties as well, which was, if you go back and watch that video, the struggles was there was games where I couldn't find a thick creature to put into the graveyard, and then there's games where I just couldn't find discard outlets, and this list really solves both of those by removing some of the filtering that we had in the previous list, like Chromatic Star or stuff like that. So I'm really happy to be playing this today. We did move a couple copies of Dress to the sideboard to make room. A common suggestion I received was, hey Bryant, why aren't you playing Dragon's Breath? I actually covered that in the deck tech of the last video as well, but the reason why is Bitter Reunion. It has built-in haste, and you don't have to play a card dedicated to giving haste. That makes your deck a little bit less consistent. If you wanted to play that card, you could move these Dress to the sideboard and find 2 cuts here, but I think having some main deck way to interact with the opponent is going to be really helpful. And I understand wanting to play Dragon's Breath. It's even better in this list than it was that previous list, because here we have Summon Undead to accidentally mill them. That said, it's only a 2 of, so your odds of milling it are probably pretty low, especially when you have something like Bitter Reunion. You just don't need that effect. So I'd rather play a more consistent deck than a deck that's more explosive, but more fragile or inconsistent. And this deck is already very consistent at going turn 1 or turn 2 creature. I don't really see the need to make it worse by putting in Dragon's Breath when I already have Bitter Reunion. So that's my 2 cents. But if you want to try it, feel free. I mean, it's not a terrible card. It's just a card that I think that makes your deck a little bit worse. I'm not really interested in that. Another suggestion I received was to play Boulderbranch Golem for that red matchup. So we're going to try that today, see how that goes. But I don't have a whole lot of experience playing this card. I did play this exact deck list in a handful of practice room games, and it was very good. So we'll be playing this today. Yeah, I mean, it's not a whole new archetype or anything. It's an iteration on a list that we've been working on. So that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop, or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw against Jack Sad. We're going to keep this just turn 2 casual 10-10 and Pauper. Sign me up. Basic Mountain. Swiftspear, mono red. Classic matchup. The bane of the format. Probably shouldn't be legal. Draw. Faithless Looting. Crusher's pretty good. Another Swiftspear. No land? Brutal. Spear Guide was actually a great draw here because it gets us closer to Summon Undead. We'll grab the Crusher. And Crusher's probably going to be enough here. GG. Okay, so we want Unexpected Fangs, and we want this Boulderbranch Golem. I don't like the Megalodon in the matchup, so I'm good boarding that out. I think you could probably take out a Rust Goliath. We don't need Duress. And then I actually really like Smash to Dust in this matchup, so I'll board in both of those for the relics. And I think that you could probably shave Bitter Reunion. Because, like, you're not going to outrace the red deck. So that's my thought process. Yeah, let's submit. Okay, so we're a Dark Ritual away from this hand just being the nuts or an Exhume. Turn 1, Monastery Swift Speed. Draw. We'll play a Theater, we'll gain our life back. Go grab a mountain. Land number 2. Kiln Fiend. Their Blitz. Draw. Lotus Petal. Play a Neonate. Let's sacrifice a Crusher draw. Another Crusher. Bummer. Okay, I was hoping for a Dark Ritual there. Maybe that's just greedy. I'm probably just dead to the Kiln Fiend now. Chain Lightning? Okay. No, I would not like to copy. So this is Blitz. It's not mono red. I mean, it is mono red, but it's not the deck that everyone is familiar with, the Kuldotha red deck. So even if I had kept the Neonate in play, it would have eaten a Lava Dart. And they already have lethal. Easy breezy turn 3 for them. This time we're on the play. We'll get rid of these Smash to Dust. We don't want those. A Braid does kill Kiln Fiend, so I don't hate it. The question is, do we want something to answer Kiln Fiend in our deck, or do I just want to bring in the reunions to be more consistent? Well, Unexpected Fangs actually isn't good in this matchup, so you can board those out and bring back in the Bitter Reunions. And the Rust Goliath. Wonder Us? Try this. Game 3 on the play. Just a turn 1 Crusher. Looting. I'm 1 mana short at the moment, so if I hit a Simian Spirit Guide or something off the Faithless Looting, this is a turn 1. If not, it's a turn 2. Looting. Oh, this is a turn 1. Hell yeah. Alright, discard Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, pitch a Spirit Guide. Turn 1 Ulamog's Crusher. Crushing. And a concession. There we go. 1-0. Red-Black Reanimator and Pauper. Match 2 coming up. Take that, Kiln Fiend. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Okay, so I accidentally didn't record game number 1. We're just going to go through that really, this game takes all of a minute and a half. So we mulligan, we have turn 1 Maestro's Theater for a swamp. We're going to do that. Our opponent's just going to go land Wild Growth, I believe. That happens, yep. And then we untap, we draw the Exhume, which was the perfect card. We cast Dark Ritual, Bitter Reunion, discarding the Rust Goliath. Boom, give it haste, swing for 10 on turn 2, and the opponent's done for. That's the game. It looks like we have a turn 2 10-10 again. Keep. Basic Forest, and they're passing. Draw. Looks like we have a turn 1 10-10. My bad. Insolent Neonate. Discard the Rust Goliath. Lotus Petal. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Summon Undead. Yes, I'd like to mill 3. Rust Goliath. Go. Mountain. No! Oh, no! That is the issue with it being an artifact. Ah. And there's our Crusher. Okay, so we just need to draw an Exhume now. We have 4 Exhumes we're drawing towards. There's a Wild Growth. Draw for turn. Bitter Reunion. Not a bad one. Okay, play the Reunion. Discard Crusher. No Exhume. Destroys my swamp. Not very nice. Megalodon. Wing. And there goes all of our lands. Draw. I have 5 in hand. Arbor Elf, sure. Draw for turn. That's a Dark Ritual. Take 1 and like it. They untap. 5 mana here. Jewel Thief. Filigree Familiar, so they'll gain 2. Draw. Lotus Petal. Alright, am I lucky enough to spike a Reanimate here? No. We have to pass. 5 mana into Avenging Hunter, so they now have the initiative. So my window is closing pretty quickly. We've gone through 2 Summon Undead, so I have 4 Exhume, 2 Summon Undeads that are hit, so 6 hits out of 40 cards. We'll go to 15. Looting, okay. Pitch, cast. There's a Summon Undead. And I'm a mana short. Guard the Bitter Reunion. I think I'm actually just dead. In theory, I could try to flashback looting, but I'd have to hit land and Exhume. Alright, next game. I don't like the idea of going down to just 6 creatures. Maybe I'll board out 2 Goliath for 2 Duress. Alright, let's try this. Game 3. So here we have a Megalodon. Keep. I just need to draw Black Source. That's not a huge ask. Okay, turn 1 Faithless Looting. No red source. Discard the Megalodon and a Spirit Guide. Pass the turn. Forest into Utopia Sprawl. Draw. Another red source. Okay, Bitter Reunion. Discard Spirit Guide. Technically it's a black source, but it comes into play tapped black source versus the land destruction deck. Jewel Thief. Yep. Take a draw. Another Exhume. Okay. Grab our swamp. Play Neonate. Pass. Unfortunate. Yep. This is not looking good. We'll take 3. If I block and sacrifice, this has trample, so it tramples over anyway. Draw. Bitter Reunion. Discard the Duress. There we go. Exile. Exhume. Get back the Megalodon. Alright, pass. Swamp down. And another copy of Jewel Thief. Draw for turn. Simian Spirit Guide. Swing trigger. We don't want Summon Undead here. Let's looting. I don't think I want to smash to dust. Sure, those 2. Avenging Hunter. Okay, I could really use an Ulamog's Crusher right now. I'll take 6. Another Jewel Thief. Yikes. Okay. Draw. So if I swing, they just double block, and then I lose my Megalodon for a Jewel Thief or an Avenging Hunter. I think we just have to pass. Yeah, I've lost this. I had really good starts in both games 1 and 2, but game 3 it looks like we will not be victorious because I'm dead to trap on their turn. Yep. Yeah, you got me. For the Duress. Shame. Okay, so we lost this one. We are now 1-1. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting your own Magic events with features such as easy-to-create event registration for 4-player and one-on-one Swiss-based games. Event management has never been so simple, and it's done on the web, no downloads are required. You can sign up for $5 by visiting eminence.events/subscribe. Let's try that again. Match number 3. We're recording this time, we're on the play, and this hand is not good enough. We'll go to 6. Sure. So we have turn 2, Bitter Reunion, discarding the Megalodon, and then we have a Summon Undead. Unfortunately, we have to get rid of a Lotus Petal here. Mountain, pass the turn. And we see a mountain on the other side. Looting, okay. Let's try Bitter Reunion. Maximize our mana this turn. Ooh, hold on. I've already passed, it's fine. I clicked through on accident. Like, I clicked 2 on the Bitter Reunion itself. I wasn't expecting to draw the absolute nuts. So that's my fault. I could have had an attacking Megalodon this turn. But instead, we have an opportunity next turn to draw Ulamog's Crusher and have a Hasty Crusher. I can actually summon Undead too. So if I Faithless Looting and miss, I can't give haste. I think that's fine. And I hit the Crusher. We'll get rid of the Neonate, black, Exhume, return the Crusher, pitch, haste, and I still have Dark Ritual Summon Undead if I draw a Swamp or another Lotus Petal. Okay, pass. See, it wasn't a misplay. It was playing to better future opportunities, right? We'll say that. Okay, so we won game number 1 versus Mono Red. Board out the Duress and the Megalodons. We'll bring in the Boulderbranch Golem. We want Dust to Dust, or Smash to Dust. It's 59. I've been boarding out 2 Bitter Reunion in this matchup. And then 4 Unexpected Fang. 61. Oh, the 4th Thrust Goliath. So I do think that there's a little bit of an issue with this deck, and you could play Hand of Emrakul. Also, this hand is nuts. Keep. You could play Hand of Emrakul, because Hand of Emrakul doesn't get blown up by shatter effects. But the problem is, I think Hand of Emrakul is kind of stinky. That's my 2 cents. We will start by pitching a Simian Spirit Guide and casting this loot. Discard a pair of Boulderbranch Golems. Swamp. Exile. Exhume. We'll gain some life. Pass. Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt. Okay. That's unfortunate. They have 4 cards. I could blow up their land here. Try to slow them down a bit. Pass the turn. They just have another. Okay. Exhume. Play Neonate. Pass the turn. So even though our creature was destroyed, we have a lot of life at the moment. So we have more time to find an Exhume. They swing for 2. We'll go to 24. Bitter Reunion. We'll discard the Simian Spirit Guide. So Summon Undead just became a card that we want to draw. That's good. They play the land from hand. Oh, because they wanted to play Kuldotha Rebirth. Okay. That makes more sense. They have 2 cards in hand. They're swinging for 2. We'll go to 22. Draw. Another Lotus Petal. I think I'm going to burn a Lotus Petal here to flashback looting. Flashback. We hit the Summon Undead. So, issue here. If I want to cast it, I have to discard both Unexpected Fangs. So I think instead I'm going to play toward deck just drawing a mana and discarding the Lotus Petal. Flame Breather, still 2 cards in hand. One of which was a land. Okay. We'll take 4 down to 18. On deck. Pretty please. Crusher, that's a good one. Discard the Crusher. Land? Land? Lotus Petal will do. Dark Ritual. It's crushing time. Summon Undead. I've always wanted to do this, and I really hope my opponent doesn't concede. I want to put Fangs on Crusher. They play land 5. They have 1 card in hand. They're swinging out. So it might not seem important, but that Boulderbranch gained 6 life to start off this game, and now we're in the driver's seat. Maestro's Theater up to 19. Alright, Unexpected Fangs, baby. Life linking 9/9 Annihilate 2! What are you going to do? Casual 9/9 lifelinker and Pauper. So they can block with everything. Okay, so they had another line here. They could have thrown the entire team in front of the Crusher and then bolted the Crusher. Because that would have been 5/6 with the Prowess. And then Lightning Bolt would have done the final 3. They missed a line there. Another Summon Undead? Jeez. Get in there. They're at 10. And a concession. I love it. We're 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match 4 on the play. Feeling good about this deck right now. Not feeling good about this hand, though. We'll take a mulligan. So this hand just needs a way of getting Crusher to the graveyard. I think I'm down to keep this. We'll get rid of a Spirit Guide. Play the Theater. We'll go grab the Swamp because we have the Duress. Any looting effect we can just use with the Simian Spirit Guide. We have 12 hits on our next draw step. Basic Mountain again. Alright, so like I said, 12 hits, 53 cards. Can we do it? I mean, not the worst, but can't cast it. Fire Blast or Chain Lightning? I think we just take the Chain. Come on, deck. Pretty please. 12 out of 52. Baldur and Epicure. Into Monastery Swift Spear. They'll swing 2. We fall to 17. Draw. There we go. Dark Ritual. And if I draw any land off this, the Crusher has haste. Bitter Reunion. Come on, deck, pretty please. Discard. There we go. Ulamog's Crusher. Give that bad boy haste. This is how we do. They sacrifice both blood tokens. That makes sense. They have Fire Blast. They have 1 Swift Spear in hand. Yep. They Chain Lightning me. They're going to Fire Blast me here? That would put me to 10. They attack for 8. That actually wins the race. They attack for 8. They put me to 10. They put me to 2. They annihilate. Yeah, they should just Fire Blast me here and attack out. They have lethal. They didn't do it. I mean, I guess they don't have to do it this turn. They could do it next turn too. They just sacrificed the 2 Epicures. Wow, outraced. Turn 2 Hasty Crusher was not fast enough. Okay, so even if I was at 9, that would have been good enough. Wow. All right. I see you. Good game. 4 Unexpected Fangs and the Boulderbranch Golem. Get rid of Megalodon, 1 Rust Goliath, 2 Bitter Reunion, and the Duress. What am I missing? The Smash to Dust. Submit. This league has been a lot of red, so the Duress hasn't looked particularly good. I understand that. But in a more open field, I think Duress is probably the right call. I do believe that they should probably do something about the red decks in this format, but I am not on the Pauper format panel. And it's a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. It's a touchy subject with a lot of people, if it should be banned or not. I think the problem with the red deck is that it's a deck that can turn 3 you, that can also outgrind you. And like between the 8 Reckless Impulse that exists in the format now, Voldaren Epicure, and Experimental Synthesizer, the deck just has so much card advantage. But on top of that, it can casually outrace a turn 2 Ulamog's Crusher, or it can go wide with Kuldotha Rebirth tokens. It can just do too many things, and I think that's part of the bigger issue. Affinity also could be knocked down. I think that the bridges should probably go at this point. I was someone who didn't want to see them be banned, but the problem with leaving them is that Affinity, there's just no real good way to hate it, no matter what you do now, because the lands are just too good. Missing a reanimate, but I'll keep. I think if you took away the artifact lands, or the indestructible artifact lands, you could go back to attacking their mana, and that would be an effective strategy. But it's really tough to do. And if you want to go after their mana, you almost have to play white now for Dust to Dust or Revoke Existence or whatever. Okay, so we're looking for Black Source plus Reanimate. 2 thick boys to the graveyard. Mountain, to a spear. Lovely. Okay, so we'll take 1. We're at 19. Draw. A Boulderbranch. Let's Bitter Reunion that away. Guess if I draw a Lotus Petal, probably better than the second Fangs. Alright, no Black Source, no Reanimate yet. Another Swift Spear. I'm going to be outraced this game. Oh, geez. They have 3 in hand. Draw. There's our Black Source. Okay, so this puts me up to 13. I think I just need to play a couple blockers here. Synthesizer into another synth. It's pretty good. And Lightning Bolt. So, do you not have a red source? We'll block. Block. Okay, before damage, we'll sacrifice them. Discard the Boulderbranch. Discard Neonate. Lotus Petal. Alright. I get punished for discarding the Boulderbranch and keeping the Looting or Fangs. Can I find an Exhume? No. Discard the 2 pieces, the Smash and the Lotus Petal. I think we want to keep the lands, because if I hit the 5 mana one, I could cast it. Flashback. Running out of time. We're 33% of the way through the deck, and I haven't found one of our 8 reanimates. I don't think I'm going to be able to win if I discard the Fangs is the issue. I think they'll kill me before then. Discard the Reunion. I want to keep it, but if I do, It has the problem of if I draw the reanimate effect, I can't really use it. Maybe I'm also pressured into bringing back a Boulderbranch instead of the Crusher just to stabilize. And I'm probably dead here. Yeah, I'm dead. Sweet. Yeah, Swiftspear needs to go. This deck's just way too good. But we also stumbled this game, I'm willing to admit that. Like I said, we went 33% of the way through, never found a reanimate. So next turn I would have drawn the ritual, I would have dark ritualed, flashed back, and then we would have hit, but I would have had to discard the fangs. We would have reanimated the Boulderbranch, and then we would have gone after probably a Crusher after that. It stinks. We lost. It happens. It's a part of Magic. It really is. But let's just keep our chin up high and try to win match number 5. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The 5th and final round, we're on the draw, and I will keep. So with being on the draw, I can naturally just discard this Ulamog's Crusher to hand size and then turn to Exhume. Ooh, okay. Draw, Megalodon. This is actually one of the matchups where I feel like Megalodon is better than Crusher, so I'm going to discard the Megalodon. They play an island and they're just passing. Maestro's Theater. We're going to go grab a red source here. There's no need to just Dark Ritual jam into counterspell mana. Like, some people get too anxious and they're like, oh, I have to do this thing because that's what my deck does. And you don't have to play into your opponent's tricks. You can wait for your spot. A mental note, sure. And a consider. They kept the card on top. Another Aquafire. I'm going to see if I can bait them here with the Faithless Looting. So you also don't have to play your cards just because you can. So here I'm going to hide my swamp and just play Looting to see if they counterspell it. They don't. So we'll discard Crusher and another Megalodon. Play a land and pass. Next turn we can actually double spell them, and by that I mean we can go Dark Ritual, Summon Undead plus Exhume. They Scour and a Brainstorm. Okay. Looks like they're going to play a threat here. Gurmag Angler. 3 open mana, 5 cards in hand. Okay, Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. We're going to attempt to summon Undead first, because this is likely to eat a counterspell, and then from there we can Exhume. And hiding the Exhume means that they can't set up like a line where they brainstorm back a 5/5, and then we then they mill it, and then they get a creature for free. So we're gonna try this now. Do you have the Spell Pierce? They do. So we've lost this game. That's a bummer. And these are the sort of games that remind you why you play Duress in your main deck. I mean, I didn't draw it, but having a Duress would have been a huge difference. Yep. And now we'll take 5. Ouch. Another Angler? Okay. Draw for turn. I guess I can flashback Looting. Okay. Game 2. We want all the Pyroblasts and the Duresses. I think that you can afford to board out some speed here. We're definitely not interested in Boulderbranch Golem. That can be boarded out. And then, because we're facing a control deck, like I mentioned, you're not as interested in speed. So I think you can actually board out Lotus Petals. And you might be saying, why not Simian Spirit Guide? One of the few ways that they can beat Spined Megalodon is Edict effects. So you want to be able to play these as just bodies. But also can help you mask around playing around Spell Pierce. Yes, I'd like to be on the play. This is fine. Is it? It's actually a little awkward. We'll keep. Really need to draw lands. That's the big thing with this hand. Okay. Grab a swamp. Pass. They have an island. Draw for turn. Mountain? No, but I'm still going to play the Bitter Reunion here. That was backbreaking. Okay. Pass the turn. Into Spellbomb. Yikes. So, Summon Undead can beat a spell bomb because it's not actually in play when this is cast or in the graveyard, so they never gain priority to exile your graveyard. But we have to be lucky enough to mill a creature, and we have to get this to resolve. Draw. Another Exhume. We'll pass. They scour and mill a Tolarian Terror. And they did find their second land, so now counterspell's online. Neonate. They scour again, mill a Gurmag Angler, and a Deep Analysis. So it's important to keep track of what your opponent has in their graveyard because you are an Exhume deck. So every Exhume I try to play now, they'll put a 5/5 into play. And there's a Terror. Faithless Looting could give us a window here, and I did not draw it. We have to pass. It also looks worse because, like, we got crushed game 1, and then game 2, we boarded up to 8 pieces of interaction. We haven't drawn any. And our opponent kind of opened up on a strong start. I promise you, this match, it is tough. I'm not going to say that it's a good matchup, but it's not as bad as it looks. No blocks. Take a draw. We have to pass. So we needed to draw like a looting or something, so that way you can keep the Neonate in play to beat the Exhume, or beat the Spell Bomb. And by that I mean, so you have a creature in your graveyard. You cast Exhume, your opponent crypts you using the Nile Spell Bomb. And then before your Exhume resolves, you activate the Neonate to discard Crusher or Spined Megalodon or something else. Now they're at the point where they're just holding open multiple pieces of counter magic every turn. Not looking good. A little late, Faithless Looting. Discard Megalodon and Rust Goliath. Pass the turn. We'll take this hit and go to 6. Okay. Pretty much an hour never. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Zoom. They cast Counterspell. We'll cast another Exhume. So they're going to use their Spell Bomb. Our graveyard has been exiled. Then before this resolves, we'll use Neonate. We will discard. So, like, the Megalodon blocks the 5/5s, but I don't think that's, like, a winning line. The Crusher is a winning line, but they're a 4 snuff out deck, so I don't think there's actually a good answer. And they have Rotted Reunion. Okay, he got me. We went 2-3. A little bit disappointed because I feel like this deck list is actually better than that. I actually love this 75. I think that you could probably... It's worth testing because I haven't actually tested it. You could try the Hand of Emrakul over the Rust Goliath. Losing your huge creature to a disenchant felt really bad. And I also think that it being a 10/10 trample is really sweet, but most of the time it is still 3 attack steps. The Hand of Emrakul is a 7/7 annihilate 1, but there's no trample, and I feel like it just gets like chumped forever, because one of the things about Pauper is that it's a format that plays to the battlefield now, where if you look at the red deck, there's blood tokens and synthesizers, and every deck is like that. So there's so many like little garbage permanents in play that I don't think Annihilate 1 actually keeps up super well anymore, but it's worth trying. You could also try a 2-2 split. You could try 2 Rust Goliath, 2 Hand of Emrakul, or something along those lines. But if you have any other ideas to improve the deck, let me know. I love playing it. It's super fun. I would recommend it. And don't let the bad matchups or like bad variants get you down. I really do think that this is a great deck. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. See ya. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.